Okay guys, I'm in the process of doing the sew along on the pants pattern, and I thought I would go ahead and show you. I'm doing flat felled seams on the yoke and on down the inside of the leg, and I thought I'd show you on a small example of how we're going to do that. That way, if you can't figure it out in the video, I just wanted to show you the technique, and that's what I'm doing in the video. So here's what it will look like. I did that a little bit wider than normal, and that's fine if you want to do that. That would give you probably about a 5/8 of an inch. But what I'm going to show you on this one is I've marked a chalk line 1/4 of an inch along the edge of this side. Let's say it's the left side and right side of the pants, and so that's the bottom. So we got the right side up, and what we're going to do is put this overlapping, lining it up with the line right there, and we're going to sew a small seam down here. And the reason we're doing a small seam is we've got to cover this seam when we fold it, and we've got to cover the seam below when we fold it. So I'm going to come down this seam with the width of this foot here, and I'll show you what the width is when I'm done. But anyway, it's probably about 1/8 of an inch or so. It's fairly close to the edge. So, and I've got my stitch length at 4.5. That's what I'm going to sew it on this machine. This is my Juki 1541, and the reason I'm going to use it on these pants, I've got very thick thread, and I tried it on my home machine, my domestic machine, and I could never get the tension tight enough. Had it cranked all the way up and it still wasn't tight enough. So on this machine you got 3 different areas. I've upgraded this to be more like the machine above this on the tension side. Anyway, so you got 3 tension dials on here so you can really tighten it up. So that's why I'm using this machine. Alright, so let's line this up with the edge here. And we're going to sew the width of this foot. So I'm getting the width of this foot right on the edge of the material there. So here we go. Got to keep checking your alignment mark as you sew. Make sure you're right there on the edge. And it's okay if you get a little bit off. You can still cover it up, but don't get very much off when you're sewing this down, because you want to keep the seam kind of nice and level. All right. Okay, and I'm using a size 18 Smith's needle on this machine. Okay, so you can see I got a little bit off in the middle when I was coming down through here, so it's wider here than it is there. So you have to kind of pay attention to your alignment. I didn't pay real close attention, but I'll show you. We'll actually fold it out, and it'll work out okay. This seam over here isn't very much at all. So what you want to do now is you're going to fold your fabric to cover this seam here and the seam on this side. So what I have to be careful of here is I'm going to have to go a little bit wider because I got off on the one side, and then you'll fold it back this way. Like that. So basically you're just going to take it from this side, the seam is going that way, and fold it over, and you need to do this very evenly when you fold it over. You got to fold it enough to where you cover this seam back here up. Like that. So I'm going to go press it, and I'm going to use a ruler, a straight edge ruler, and try to make sure that this overlap is even, so it will come out even like this. So let me do that real quick and I'll be right back. I got to go over to the pressing station, and what I'll do is I'll press this right to where that white thread line right there is, right there along the edge of the fabric. So it'll be pressed about like that, and then I can take this and fold it over and press it to cover this edge up. So let me go do that and I'll show you the results, and then we'll sew it down. Okay, I got it pressed out, and I use this as my straight edge, and I'm going to make this one just right at a 1/2 inch. It's just barely under the 1/2 inch line when I fold it up. So see how you can see the 1/2 inch line there? And then on this side you have to do the same thing. So come over here and put your ruler down and make sure it lines up all the way down it. This one's a little bit less than the other side, and it's right there on the right before the 1/2 inch line. So what we'll do now is we will sew this side down first at the width of the presser foot, so right along the edge. Yeah, I got a little bit off at the end there. Wasn't holding the fabric good. You got to pay attention when you're doing this. Alright, let's pull that out. This is when I get to see how well my tension's set on the other side, because I'm going to sew on this side now, and it's going to show on the right side. So let me see if my tension's set tight enough where it looks good on that side. Yeah, that's where I veered off. Like I said, you got to pay attention. Yeah, and I'm going to have to work on my tension. You can see how that stitch doesn't look as good as this one over here does on the top side. So I'll just have to keep working on the tension until I get it down where it looks just as good on this side as it does on that side. But anyway, that's how we'll do our flat felled seam. All the seams are covered up and everything will look good. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, when you take your time and make sure everything's perfectly aligned, you'll get a seam that looks like that, where everything's perfectly done, and hopefully your jeans will come out looking good in the end. So that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'm making my way through the sew along, and I'll post it here in 2 or 3 days. So take care, guys.